Imagine a futuristic city where you walk into a flying aircraft. You don't even have to fly it, and it just flies by its own, like magic. You glide over the city like a mystical swan, lands you at your destination, paid for with your app, and you move on with your day. That's the future of aviation. Dude, doesn't all this stuff already exist? This company eHang already does it. Ticker symbol EH. Actually, that sounds about right. This video is going to be a quick overview and to the point, covering a lot of key information about eHang. Cool. Part 1, we're going to cover what is eHang and what do they do. Part 2, we're going to cover what's their timeline and what's their plan for the future. Part 3, we're going to check out, is this hype? Part 4, I'm going to let you know what I'm going to do as a random dude on YouTube. Dude, if you like this intro or this content, hit the like button. It really helps with the algorithm for YouTube. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get right into it. This is Two Random Dudes Invest. Really excited about this company because I love drones. I love to fly my drone. In the last couple of days, I've been diving deep into EVTOLs. Check out the other videos about that. My goal is to share what I've learned with you so we could grow stronger as investors together. What is eHang and what do they do? Let's check this out on the old computador. Got their investor presentation right here. In a nutshell, eHang is the first mover in commercialization of passenger grade AAVs. Right now, their main vehicle is the EH216. 216 stands for 2 passengers, 16 propellers. Does fly on its own, which is pretty amazing. It's not something you could say about other companies in the space right now. We got Joby, we got Archer that I made a video about, link above. So they have the 216, they also have a firefighter edition, and they have the logistics version, which is basically used for deliveries of all sorts. As you can see, they're into passenger transportation. So that's intercity transport. Right now, I believe it flies to 15 kilometers of range. The really exciting bit is these heliports. So I'm going to show you a little clip right now. Now if this doesn't get you excited about this field, I don't know what will. It looks really slick. To be honest, that portion of their marketing is a little bit future facing, CGI for now, but these guys are actually one of the most likely companies to do that. I'm going to explain to you after in what makes eHang different. That's the vehicle. You basically have 2 seats. You basically come in, sit down. There's no pilot. It flies on its own. You can put your little luggage in the back. And a little side note, this company actually used to do drones, kind of like DJI, but that part of their business actually really did not go well. This is the part that's really excited by eHang. Right now, they actually have certifications in many places. They are the first ever flight in the US with a passenger AAV. This is huge. This is the reason why EH stock is pumping right now. We got Archer, Joby, Lilium. There's other companies, but they're not as advanced as eHang right here. So these are the 8 countries that they're focusing on. They do aerial sightseeing for tourism. That is the first thing they're going to do. That's amazing use for these vehicles. So delivery, first responders, some emergency cargo, some medical supplies perhaps. You could pick up somebody in the electric chopper.
Let's get to the chopper. Look at it, go. Get to the chopper.
Organ transport, flying ambulance. These are all amazing uses for these types of vehicles. So here's a quick clip of the firefighter in action. Main key thing that will differentiate them from other people is actually this: 4 centers in China to control all the drones inside the whole country. This can be used for all sorts of cases: power line inspection, bridge inspections, emergency rescues, all sorts of stuff like right here, traffic management. So they also do aerial media, which is a really beautiful, amazing array of drones all flying together in the sky. They broke some Guinness World Records. One of the things that hit me in my research is that this technology is available right now. They don't need any extra advances. They don't need to wait, develop more batteries, or do anything specific. They have the engineering right now. It works, getting them built still in small numbers. As of today, they have delivered this many vehicles. Not that many. They still don't have the production capacity to go full out. There's some financial stuff. In a nutshell, they're projected to make more and more money. And this is a perfect segue into part 2, which is their plans for the future and what the timeline looks like realistically. So let's get right into their timeline and what the plans are for the future. So the CEO right now has this facility where they just test and test and test these aircrafts. There's actually a video on YouTube about it, really interesting. I'm gonna play you a clip right here. The CEO is an interesting character. He's really focused on engineering. This is a real engineer head. He's very passionate about aviation. So they delivered some vehicles, and his goal right now is really to just keep testing the vehicles so that any part of the vehicle can fail and the vehicle will still safely continue on to the destination. So hot news, they literally just joined the EUGOF 2.0 research project in February 8th, which is basically a way so that different countries and minds could collaborate to make an unmanned aerial system, basically a way to make roads in the air but digitally, and that's what they're working on in Europe. A big move for eHang, because that means that they're in the talks, they're like in the gist of it. It's a great thing for eHang because if they're partnering with the EU and they have their own system and then they make a system that works together, it's win-win because their system is going to be already working with the EU, so that's going to be much easier for them to infiltrate Europe, which is one of their targets. So they got Austria and Netherlands, which they're targeting. That's a good segue in their expansion plan. So when it comes to China today, so they actually have a pilot project in Guangzhou City with Heli Chuanxing on Tiande Center in Guangzhou. They're already working on the system with the city in Guangzhou. So that's already one huge step in China. Then the next big, huge thing that I learned from this researcher, I'm going to play the clip right here.
I think Great Bay Area actually going to lead in urban air mobility concept. In the whole world, you don't find several cities in the same region. The only hurdle that we have is how passengers feel, how safe it is.
And the next key critical target for them is to offer flights in the Great Bay Area, which is around Hong Kong and Guangdong City, which is a really special place where they have a whole bunch of huge cities next to each other. They're positioned perfectly for this technology. That's why I believe they're going to be the leader unless something drastically changes. They have the geography that plays in their advantage, home court advantage right here, and that is huge, which the other companies do not have, because we don't got that in Canada, we don't got that in the States. Europe is maybe a place where that is possible, but with Europe, there's a lot of countries, a lot of legislation. It is a complex thing, probably why they joined that EU group, which is really key and strategic. And the more I think about this, their strategy is quite brilliant. Let's huddle in for the game plan. Their goal is to infiltrate the world with their technology. So the first thing they're going to do is to do these kind of like showcasings to cities, which they're already doing and they have done in Europe. Emirates is one of the first places to do this. They have skydiving, they have ziplining. Sure as hell gonna have aerial sightseeing on these drones. I'd be down for that. eHang. So they're gonna infiltrate cities. They're gonna show their tech to the city people in charge. Show them that if this is a technology that's safe, it's not some fluff. That's the first step. Then another way to integrate into cities is by offering the firefighting drone or anything to do with emergency medical transport. And that's why they made the firefighter edition, just for that purpose. So cities would experience it and see it in action. Urban delivery would be probably like a third, fourth step. So the first catalyst to watch is entering the 3 cities that they're planning for, which is one of them is Dubai, Hong Kong, definitely the Great Bay Area. And there's one I forget, I'm going to show you right now. Oh, and another big catalyst to watch for is, so they're supposed to build this factory in 2021. So at that point, the company is going to get really tested because they're going to scale up from a couple dozens to hundreds. It's a magnitude higher than what they're doing right now, then be able to sell across the world. Once that factory is up and they're actually making hundreds of these vehicles, I think the stock is going to be in a good position. I'm going to keep the rest of my thoughts for the end of the video so we can move on to part number 3. Is there a lot of hype? Crap load of hype right now. If you don't think there's hype, well, I don't know what to tell you. The question is the hype going to continue, go to the stratosphere? Probably not. We're going for this peak inflated expectations. To be honest, I think this is going to be much different in places like China, especially around Hong Kong in that Greater Bay Area. I think it's going to be different for them than it is going to be for the United States of America. If I'm going to predict something, I think their dip is going to be smaller than a lot of these US manufacturers who are going to see a lot more time to get to this plateau productivity. Because for eHang, they actually are planning to produce vehicles this year. But how fast can they produce them? Can they produce them consistently without problems and with full safety? That's the question of the ages. So without further ado, we're going to hop into the computer. These guys are on a proper path for some amazing success. Although their technology is very promising, this price is very, very high. I like taking risks, but not with my investments. So that's why risk management is key. I'm going to put less than 1% of my portfolio into eHang. And then with time, I'm going to dollar cost average. So slowly but surely, get into the stock with time, and if there's going to be some dips, I might capitalize on those. I'm actually really curious if you already knew about eHang. Drop down a comment below, let me know at what price point you bought it in. Let's uplift ourselves as investors. If you got any value out of this video, it actually took me hours. It took me a long time to make this video and to research this. If you want to see more of the YOLO dude, also hit the like button. Join the conversation if you have more info about the company. Don't be shy, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Peace.